Joe Armstrong is my name. I spent 9 years studying with the Marist Fathers to be a Catholic priest. I left before ordination. I became a teacher for teaching religion and English in London for 5 years. And then I became a journalist, a columnist, an author, an editor, and a broadcaster for 20 years. And for the last 5 years, I've been a Humanist Celebrant. Humanism is the worldview, if you like, that we don't need an afterlife, we don't need a supernatural power, that what we have, it's, you know, the great film, this is as good as it gets. And so it's about living the now, enjoying life, trying to be your best self, thinking for yourself, being caring, compassionate, and inclusive, and trying to be the best human being you can be. Of course, you can have a humanist ceremony. If you are religious, it might not be the best option for you. So it is for people who would feel more comfortable having a non-religious ceremony. Humanist ceremonies are, they are non-religious. They are inclusive. So brides sometimes worry. Perhaps their parents or their relatives might be religious, but I always explain, not only to the bride but also to their guests, that everybody is welcome and respected. And I've often had, in fact, priests and nuns and brothers thank me at the end of a ceremony for feeling included. So we won't have prayers, we won't have hymns, but we will have readings about love and marriage and commitment and friendship, and we'll have music which is chosen by the couple, which is meaningful to them. How do you inquire? Every ceremony for me begins with an email. So people email me and they let me know the date of the wedding or the naming ceremony or the civil confirmation or the funeral. Obviously, in the case of a funeral, it doesn't have to be by email. But for every other ceremony, it's by email, and let me know the date and let me know the venue, where it is. And please don't presume I know where it is. Some people will just give me the name of the place and presume I know where it is. So do please give me the address and the county. And after that, I will get in touch with the person who's approached me by email, and I'll let them know more about humanist ceremonies. I'll send them links to videos of my weddings and such like, so they can find out more about the feeling of the ceremony, the structure of the ceremony, the personal tone of the ceremony. Yeah, couples often thank me that they're thrilled when they realise the extent to which they can put their personal signature and imprint on the ceremony. So I'll meet with them for an hour and a half, and by the end of that meeting I'll have shown them the possible rituals they can have, where music works, where readings works, what we can do, what we can say, and so on. And they'll emerge from that hour and a half with their script 85% finished, which is a great relief for most of them, because they have this thing of the tyranny of the blank page. And so during that hour and a half, I will show them, you know, you could have a candle ceremony, you could have a sand ceremony, you could have a ribbon ceremony, you could have an oath stone ceremony. I'll explain each of them. Wine box ceremony, there are lots of them, and we couldn't have them all because the ceremony would last too long. But you can have more than you might think, and the ceremony is up to you. I mean, sometimes a couple might try to put too much in, and it might go on too long, and I'll be trying to say, well, maybe we could cut one ritual out, you know. Normally the ceremony would last about, for me, about 40 minutes. I think for a lot of ceremonies they tend to be a bit shorter, but I find that if that's what the couple wants, I'm very happy to go with that, and I often feel that's a kind of a good time. Sometimes they do last an hour, and very often a couple will come out and say, that flew through. I couldn't believe it went so fast. Good question. If it's a humanist wedding, and if it's a legal humanist wedding, and I'm a legal solemniser, it must take place at a public venue. So it cannot take place in a private home. So it has to take place at a venue that is freely open to the public. A lot of people don't kind of understand this or the purpose of it, but it is a public contract that is taking place, that is a legal act, promise, contract between two people, witnessed by two official witnesses, but also by the guests and friends. Although, mind you, I have done a wedding where there were just the couple and two witnesses and myself. Or I've done, weddings where there's 300 something people there. I think one of the lovely things about a humanist ceremony is that you can involve as many guests, family and friends as you wish. And there are so many rituals that you can choose to do which are ways of involving your guests. And you can personalize your ceremony very much so in that way. For example, if you're doing a sand ceremony and if you got engaged on Enniscrone Beach, somebody might choose to have a bit of sand there from Enniscrone Beach. Or at the candle ceremony, if you choose to do it, you might have your parents up to light the bride's candle and the groom's parents up to light his candle, and then you're taking the flames from the candles lit by your parents to light your marriage candle. And indeed, if you have children, you can then light the candles of your children. So that can make a lovely photograph where you have the three generations together. And there are lots of other ways. If you're doing the hand fasting ceremony, which is a Celtic wedding ceremony, origin of the phrase tying the knot. And if you have 5 ribbons, you can involve 5 guests. So I always encourage couples to include as many people as they can. Certainly, I'm accredited by the Humanist Association of Ireland, and it is an Irish charity, and people who are drawn towards humanism, the humanist philosophy of life, are more than welcome to join us. And I think at the moment there are about 1,000 members. And so we are generally free thinkers. So when you get a lot of free thinkers in a room together, it can be quite an interesting place to be. But it's also a dynamic place to be and a thoughtful place to be, and hopefully, at least a lot of the time, a caring place to be.